Hi, this is Insha Noreen from CNS Media, journalist at Food Ingredients First. Cheddar cheese manufacturers are striving to hit the right notes in terms of taste, texture, and functionality while crafting the cheese as economic and environmental pressures push them to achieve great yield and quality while limiting costs. To discuss more such trends in the cheddar cheese industry, we are joined today by Gil Tansman, who is the regional sales manager for cheese at DSM-Firmenich. Welcome, Gil.
Thank you.
Great. So, Gil, what are you currently observing in the cheddar cheese formulation and in terms of techniques and formulation?
It's a great question, Insha. At DSM-Firmenich, we are seeing a transformation in cheddar cheese formulation and manufacturing driven by both consumer demand for what they like in the finished product, as well as technological innovations that the cheese manufacturers have available to them. From the consumer demand side, there's been increasing demand for consistency, what we would see as batch to batch, that's unit to unit that a consumer might purchase at the store. And this is really a baseline requirement at this point of that high quality consistency. Now, cheese aging, even early aging of cheddar cheeses, is a very complex process with a lot of contributing factors, some of which are under the cheesemaker's control, like their recipes, their ingredients, their equipment, their process, and some are not, like seasonal changes in raw materials. Milk, of course, is a complex substrate that has a lot of potential biological variability. But the goal of the cheesemaker really is to minimize even the most minute flavor and texture defects while maximizing that product deliciousness. And ingredients do play a pretty big role in this, as you can imagine. And even though the cheese ingredient deck is very streamlined, it's really just milk, cultures, enzymes, mostly for coagulation, and salt. Orange and yellow cheese varieties may sometimes contain some naturally occurring colorants, and cheeses may include some inclusions like peppers, so in pepper jack. But even with this very simple ingredient deck, there's a lot of innovation from the ingredient side. Cultures, for instance, these are living organisms, and we harness their fermentation power and their ability to produce delicious flavors. And that really comes from our in-house expertise, our deep knowledge in culture biology, in strain selection, the ability to construct blends that work well together to produce that highly uniform fermentation and predictable, desirable flavor palette during aging. And these innovations, which are ongoing all the time, they address the needs of the consumers for that high quality product and also for the needs of the producers for that high throughput and accelerated flavor development in a lot of cases. From the enzyme side, from the enzyme technology side, our innovations allow us really to get the most out of our coagulant enzymes and the ripening enzymes that are so critical for cheese manufacturing and high quality aging. We look, for instance, to enhance flavor and texture, expand the processing window time of cheeses that the producers make and that the converters or in-house conversion makes use of, and optimizing yield really for multiple stages during that value chain. And we're always pushing the limit on these and other capabilities, flavor development, for instance. We're always looking for more clean cheddar flavor earlier in aging, as well as improved sliceability, superb melt, superior mouthfeel, and in addition to having the most advanced acidifier technology, those would be the cultures that are producing the fermentation, the acids from the naturally occurring sugars in milk, our adjuncts, the additional cultures that produce a depth of flavor. It's one of the best portfolios out there and ever expanding. And DSM-Firmenich really maintains a wonderful collection of those cultures through our various culture collections.
Okay, great. Thank you for explaining that so well. And what are some of the key challenges that you feel the cheddar cheese manufacturers are facing nowadays?
I would say, firstly, economic volatility has led to substantial increases in the cost of raw materials, energy, and transportation, making it sometimes difficult for producers to control those expenses and maintain profitability. While global milk supplies are fairly stable from year to year, there are regional shifts in milk availability, and this can pose a challenge to manufacturers who rely on that consistent, high quality milk production for cheddar production. And at the same time, there is a growing expectation from brands to maintain high quality standards across every batch, and this may even include batches produced at factories, manufacturing plants in different regions with different milk sheds, and milk that has varying characteristics and even different types of seasonality. So manufacturers are always under constant pressure to fine tune, to innovate, and to meet that evolving customer preference from flavor to new applications and high expectations for that quality and consistency. The push for eco-friendly practices, whether from sourcing to production to packaging, is also intensifying as consumers seek those brands that really align with their environmental values. And it does create incentives for manufacturers to adapt and adopt to those sustainable solutions wherever they're available. At DSM-Firmenich, we're committed to supporting manufacturers through these challenges, through our expertise, our partnership, and our commitment to delivering those solutions.
Okay. And can you give us some examples of some of the solutions from the DSM-Firmenich which can help improve the quality of cheddar cheese?
Sure. DSM-Firmenich really prides itself, providing effective solutions and expert support that can help cheddar manufacturers overcome these key market challenges. Our double cheese portfolio, our portfolio of highly advanced cultures for cheddar and other varieties, for example, includes a variety of cultures as well as our enzyme portfolio to reduce production time while delivering that consistent flavor and texture quality. Our solutions, they really optimize fermentation process, giving the ability to boost yield, minimize waste, really in order to maximize the utilization of that valuable milk resource and production time that's available in the manufacturing space. Additionally, we offer really advanced enzymatic solutions for whey valorization. So that would be enhancing the functionality and value of the whey byproduct that comes off of cheddar and other cheese manufacturing. And this would be through processes including whey protein hydrolysis for higher value proteins coming out of the whey, lactose conversion for reducing or eliminating the lactose content of those streams, and also color reduction for greater application of those whey streams in different uses. From the enzyme side, our coagulant enzyme innovations, really with Maxura and XDS, our product that we're quite proud of at before, really often enables producers to maximize output through reduced protein and fat losses during production, also minimizing crumble losses during conversion, during slicing, and during shredding. And really both of these benefits promote the highest possible value from the valuable milk components by maximizing the capture of protein and fat in cheese, in the cheese end byproduct. I'm sorry, in the cheese end product. When it comes to sustainability, our partnerships with cheese manufacturers often include input from our application support teams to maximize process efficiency through recipe modifications or optimized ingredient selection, supporting our partners' journey really towards that most efficient production that they can achieve. And finally, we've made investments and continue to make investments in digital tools to enable our customers to use data and AI-driven insights to help monitor, to optimize production process, and to minimize inefficiency and downtime. And I think these tools really enhance the quality consistency across batches and produce actionable data that our partners can use to improve efficiency and resource use.
Okay, great. And when it comes to sustainability that you just touched upon, how do you think it can also provide some cost benefits to manufacturers?
It's a great conjunction of those two needs. Efficient resource use in the cheddar plant environment, in the cheddar manufacturing environment, really is the key to both environmental and sustainable and financial sustainability. This starts with absolutely maximizing the value of material inputs, and this is notably the most valuable input, which is the milk. Um, a strong understanding and focus, along with our cheddar manufacturing partners, on reducing those protein and fat losses, maximizing that capture, and any kind of off grade of product, whether it's through flavor defects or fermentation inconsistencies, through that meticulous recipe and ingredient fine tuning and support, really is at the core of our activities with our customer, and at the core of maximizing that environmental sustainability, and also maximizing that financial sustainability of the process. And we have really a strong understanding of the technology and process that our customers deploy, and our application teams provide support and efficiency initiatives with our customers, for instance, like water reduction in the manufacturing process. Obviously, manufacturing processes do utilize water. It's always a striving to make most efficient use of that resource. That's both a sustainability goal as well as a cost goal. And this can be achieved really through that very meticulous fine tuning of the process, and also good use of the ingredients that are available, the right culture selection, the right enzyme selection. Water use in particular, this is something that is personally very close to my heart, living here in El Paso, Texas, and supporting some of the most advanced cheese producers in the world who have very significant footprint in this strong milk producing region, but a region that certainly has some water limitations. So we can see here where that meticulous approach to recipe fine-tuning, the power of innovation in ingredients, and as well that support both from the application side, along with our cheese manufacturing partners, can make a big impact. And our portfolio of ingredient solutions is key in other areas to managing sustainability and cost, whether it's that optimized coagulation and fermentation, which is really at the heart of an efficient and profitable cheddar production. So that highly tuned process, from this standpoint, can minimize energy consumption through that predictable production process, reducing waste and increasing yield.
Okay, great. It sounds really interesting. And I think to wrap up this conversation, I think it would be good to know your thoughts on what the future is going to show in the cheddar cheese production and your company's plan in this space.
Yeah, it's a wonderful question, Insha. Bringing progress to life, that's our mission, that's our motto. And this means that we are continually looking for new ways to drive innovation and respond to the latest market trends. So as the technology advances, we expect to see more precision in flavor and texture customization, allowing manufacturers to tailor their cheddar cheeses to meet regional and demographic preferences. Our innovation pipeline, we're proud to say, is very strong. And over just the past few years, we've launched, for instance, the world's fastest phage detector. This is a wonderful tool that can help manufacturers maintain the highest level of control in their fermentation. The fastest lactase enzyme used in many applications, but in whey valorization in this case, for the highest value and most efficiency. And our flavor wheel that I mentioned before, that portfolio that's absolutely jam-packed with cultures for bringing out that nuanced taste layering and diversification of cheese for different varieties, and for making different types of cheese character that can appeal to different uses and markets. And there's more exciting innovations to come from the ingredient standpoint. Can't share too much just yet, but you can expect to see our biotechnology capabilities expressed in new solutions for cheddar cheese, as well as solutions for efficiency improvements and taste optimization. All I can say is right now is stay tuned.